Check it out. I don't know if you can see me or not. I'm assuming that you can. I watched this video by Joe Pass years ago and it really stuck with me, and I think it's useful. Check it out. I think, yeah. We all know there's some really common progressions that have been used hundreds of times, and Joe Pass goes through this, and I should probably try to dig up the video where he talks about it. It's an old video, but he talks about different ways of getting through like a progression, like different variations, and this kind of stuff is really useful for songwriting or improvising, because you want to maybe explore other options, other avenues that are available to you. So check this out. So there's this 1, 6, 2, 5 progressions, very common. I'm gonna play it in A major because I think the camera can see that there. So we got A to F sharp, right? To B minor to E. I guess that would be a E7, right? But let's just keep it really simple. Major, minor, minor, major, right? 1, 6, 2, 5. Pretty boring, actually. So what does Joe do with that? He starts talking about how you can start changing things up a little bit. So for example, let's say we leave the 1 here, but let's maybe instead of making this just a 6 minor, why not make it major? So, and I just made the 2 major as well there. So I just converted those 2 minor chords into major chords. What do we get? Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. Maybe, but it's interesting. So he starts talking about hey, when you don't always have to stay inside the lines, especially if the most important, it has to respect the melody, obviously, and it should always respect the melody. But when you're improvising and stuff, you can reinterpret the melody a little bit too, right? So there's a little bit more flexibility when you're improvising, but sometimes these things can be applied even over the melody too. You just gotta kind of try them, see if they work. But that's one of the ways he talks about doing that, and I do that stuff a lot. Especially if I want to add, some tension. Maybe I'll start with a minor, I just split that minor, that 6 minor in half, made it minor, major, minor, major. So you can start dicing stuff up. What's also cool is, he starts talking about how you might start substituting things. So another way to hear that progression might be, here I'm playing a substitution, a tritone substitution, and I'm making it major because I could make it minor if I wanted. Could be cool, So does that work? I think it works. Could be major too. Those are all I just did another variation there. I substituted the 5 for its tritone. And I start getting some interesting like variations on that progression, right? Like I just made another like variation. They're all turning around and coming back to this one. That last one I just did there was, I went from the 1, the tritone sub of the 6, the tritone sub of the 2, tritone sub of the 5, and it sounds like it's not that different. So, and obviously there's some, he talks a lot about like, changing up, don't feel restricted by the diatonic chords in that key, like feel free to kind of break them and find, logical substitutions that, more or less play that similar role. But that really stuck with me, and I use that especially in my bass playing, because a lot of times those subs can work and add a lot of color. If chosen properly, can give you some new ideas on how to approach, a bass line that might sound really like overly supportive, maybe, so for me, if like that, if so vanilla, it's so inside, you gotta color outside the lines sometimes, there's so many ways to add some grit, some tension, and it's all this is like different ways to go, to kind of create tension and get back to this like gold tone, this gold chord. Yeah, that's a really that really stuck with me, and I use that all the time, and I think about it all the time when I'm playing bass, and I'm trying to find new ways to approach, like the important chords, the really important chords, and it's funny, and that's a topic all on its own. What are the important chords in that 1, 6, 2, 5? It depends, it depends how you look at it. I'm starting to realize more and more it's all the tension chords that really count, and keeping things moving. You could probably say I could reharmonize this progression and maybe even substitute the 1 for something else. Maybe that's 6. I just substituted the tritone of the 6 for the 1. It's starting to make this sound like a minor, almost, but it's transitory, So you can see I'm starting to really like get outside a little bit. And this kind of stuff is really cool for like writing like bridges, where you're like, how do I want to do something that feels like it's still part of the same, borrows from the same like movement, but it's different, you know, but the same, similar, you know, close. Bridge, you know, for writing bridges, this stuff is really helpful for like reimagining like you know, a typical verse or chorus progression. You can start applying these like ideas. Anyways, I wanted to share that because I don't think I shared that, and I know I noodled around on a lot of different chords, but I think you'll see like in a lot of cases I'm really just playing a 1-6 2-5 progression, and I'm applying substitutions in a lot of cases to add a little bit of color. Anyways, enjoy another rant, another pajama rant.